Imagine walking through the bustling streets of India, vendors shouting their offers, the smell of spices in the air, and colorful displays of everything from fresh produce to handmade crafts. Street vendors are not just a part of the scenery, they are the beating heart of India's informal economy. But there's a debate brewing. Should these vendors be brought into the formal economy? And are we ignoring their contributions to sustainability? Today, we're diving deep into these controversial topics. In this video, we'll unravel the complexities surrounding street vendors in India. We'll explore their significant yet often overlooked role in the economy, the challenges they face, the controversial question of formal economy integration, and how they are silently championing environmental sustainability. By the end of this video, you'll have a new perspective on the street vendors who shape India's urban landscape. Street vending in India is as old as civilization itself. For centuries, these vendors have been the backbone of local economies, providing essential goods and services at affordable prices. They cater to a diverse clientele, daily wage earners, middle class families, and even the affluent, who appreciate the unique offerings of these micro entrepreneurs. Despite their critical role, street vendors are part of the informal economy, a sector that operates outside the bounds of formal economic structures. The informal economy is massive, contributing approximately 50% to India's GDP and employing over 90% of its workforce. Street vendors alone account for around 10 million jobs. Yet, their contributions often go unrecognized in official economic statistics. These vendors wake up at the crack of dawn, navigate crowded streets, and set up shop in whatever space they can find. Their business model is simple but effective: low overhead, high volume, and a deep understanding of local demand. But despite their ingenuity and resilience, street vendors remain on the fringes of society, facing numerous challenges that threaten their livelihoods daily. The life of a street vendor is fraught with challenges. Harassment by local authorities is a daily occurrence for many. Vendors often operate without legal permits, making them easy targets for extortion and eviction. The lack of a fixed place to sell their goods adds to their vulnerability. Today's bustling market could become tomorrow's vacant lot if local authorities decide to clear the space. Then there's the issue of infrastructure, or the lack of it. Most street vendors operate in areas with poor sanitation, inadequate lighting, and zero access to clean water. These conditions not only affect their health, but also limit their ability to expand or improve their business operations. The absence of basic amenities is a stark reminder of the informal economy's marginalization. Financial exclusion is another major hurdle. Because they operate informally, street vendors have limited access to credit, insurance, and other financial services that could help them grow their businesses. Banks view them as high-risk clients, and most vendors are forced to rely on informal lenders who charge exorbitant interest rates. This financial precarity keeps them trapped in a cycle of subsistence with little hope of economic mobility. Given their economic contribution, why aren't street vendors integrated into the formal economy? The answer lies in the complex web of urban policies, bureaucratic red tape, and social perceptions. Street vending is often seen as a nuisance by urban planners and policymakers, an eyesore that disrupts traffic and clogs public spaces. This negative perception has led to policies that prioritize the beautification of cities over the livelihoods of millions. The Street Vendors Protection of Livelihood and Regulation of Street Vending Act 2014 was a landmark piece of legislation intended to protect vendors' rights and regulate street vending across India. The act mandates the creation of town vending committees, TVCs, to allocate space and issue licenses to vendors. It also provides for the rehabilitation of evicted vendors and the establishment of designated vending zones. But the reality on the ground is far from ideal. The implementation of the act has been inconsistent at best and non-existent at worst. Many TVCs are either non-functional or dominated by powerful interest groups who prioritize commercial interests over the needs of street vendors. As a result, the majority of vendors remain unlicensed and vulnerable to eviction and harassment. Urban authorities, often under pressure to clean up cities, resort to eviction drives that displace vendors without offering alternative livelihoods. This creates a cycle of insecurity and poverty that is difficult to break. The question then arises: should street vendors be integrated into the formal economy? And if so, how can this be done in a way that preserves their livelihoods while addressing the concerns of urban planners? While the debate over formal economy integration rages on, there's another aspect of street vending that's often overlooked: Their role in environmental sustainability. Street vendors are pioneers of the reuse economy, repurposing and reselling items that would otherwise end up in landfills. Their practices are inherently sustainable, driven by necessity rather than policy. In a world grappling with the challenges of climate change and resource scarcity, the principles of a circular economy have gained traction. A circular economy is one where resources are used for as long as possible with the aim of minimizing waste. Street vendors, with their low waste practices and focus on reuse, naturally align with these principles. Despite their contributions, street vendors are rarely recognized as key players in the circular economy. This oversight is a missed opportunity, not just for environmental sustainability but also for economic inclusion. With the right support, street vendors could be at the forefront of urban sustainability initiatives, helping cities reduce waste and lower their carbon footprint. In some cities, progressive urban planners and environmentalists are beginning to recognize the value of street vendors. They are partnering with vendors to create zero waste markets, where every item is reused, recycled, or composted. These initiatives not only support vendors, but also contribute to the broader goal of building sustainable cities. To address the challenges faced by street vendors, the Indian government has rolled out several initiatives over the years. The Street Vendors Act 2014 was a significant step forward, but its success has been limited by poor implementation. In response, some state governments have introduced additional measures to support vendors. For instance, in certain cities, local governments have set up vending zones, designated areas where vendors can operate without fear of eviction. These zones offer basic amenities like clean water, sanitation, and waste disposal, creating a safer and more dignified environment for vendors. Additionally, some NGOs are working with local authorities to provide training on financial literacy, digital payments, and business management. Technology is also playing a role in transforming the street vending landscape. Digital platforms are helping vendors reach a wider audience, accept cashless payments, and access microcredit. These innovations are empowering vendors to scale their businesses and improve their economic standing. While these initiatives are promising, they are still in their infancy and face significant challenges. Many vendors remain unaware of their rights under the Street Vendors Act or lack the resources to navigate the bureaucracy involved in obtaining licenses and accessing support services. There is also the issue of resistance from vested interests who see street vending as a threat to established businesses. Now let's talk about the future, specifically the opportunities for aspiring entrepreneurs. Street vending, with its low overhead and high volume business model, offers a unique opportunity for those willing to think outside the box. The sector is ripe for innovation, and the potential is enormous. Imagine the possibilities: mobile apps that connect vendors with customers, sustainable packaging solutions tailored to the needs of vendors, or microfinancing platforms designed specifically for street vendors. These innovations could not only streamline operations but also elevate the entire sector, bringing it closer to formal economic inclusion. For entrepreneurs, the key lies in collaboration. By working with street vendors, you can tap into a wealth of local knowledge and experience. These vendors know their markets better than anyone. They understand customer needs, preferences, and trends. By leveraging this knowledge, entrepreneurs can develop products and services that resonate with local communities, driving both economic and social impact. In conclusion, street vendors are more than just small scale traders. They are the backbone of our local economies, champions of sustainability, and a source of inspiration for aspiring entrepreneurs. The time has come to recognize their contributions, address their challenges, and create opportunities that benefit us all. At the heart of this integration lies a simple truth. When we support street vendors, we support the very fabric of our society. Integrating them into the formal economy isn't just a matter of policy, it's a step towards a more inclusive, sustainable future. So, what can we do? We can start by advocating for better policies, supporting local vendors, and encouraging innovative solutions that bring these entrepreneurs out of the shadows and into the light. Thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Together, we can make a difference.